Early in January 1943, Lieutenant Colonel Paul W. Thompson had a desk job at the Office of Engineers in the United States and could see the war passing him by until unexpectedly came the assignment for him to head an assault training centre project in Britain. His selection had been influenced by his recent career, for in 1937 he had completed a 2-year tour of duty in Hitler's Germany as assistant military attaché in Berlin, and had spent a period of attachment with the German Wehrmacht as a guest of the German engineers. There he learnt of their intentions and plans to assault fortified places, and was very familiar with German fortification theory and practice. He had also witnessed the awesome build-up of Hitler's army in this period, and their march into the Rhineland. Thompson recalls, "I arrived in a blacked-out, balloon-festooned, boisterous London and stepped out into a vacuum. The assault training centre turned out to be little more than a gleam in the eye of the operations section in London. I was assigned an office in unforgettable 22 Grosvenor Square and told to come up with a plan, all by myself." It had been quickly realised by the American High Command that their troops destined to assault Normandy had no practical training in amphibious assaults, and German defences there required a completely new doctrine to overcome them. One man, Colonel Paul W. Thompson, was given the job to formulate that doctrine and then train the spearhead troops. In the absence of any training manual on the subject of assaulting a heavily defended coastline, Thompson organised a conference to produce a doctrine for the fight for the first 1,000 yards. For the whole month of May 1943, 25 American and British officers with combat and planning experience sifted through intelligence reports and listened to experts to formulate a training manual. By July 1943 it was approved and a training site selected. Thompson had been frustrated by the lack of a suitable training area, as all had been secured by the British. With no choice, he accepted the one they had discarded as being too rough and stormy. This was in North Devon at Woolacombe. Paul Thompson recalls, "It turned out we were lucky beyond measure. The surf, tides, firmness of sand and flatness of beach of those northern Devon beaches bore an uncanny similarity to the same qualities of the Normandy beaches over which we would ultimately launch the invasion. The entire coastline from Mort Point past Putsborough, Croyd and Saunton to the Tor and Torridge estuary was utilised in some way for training. Construction of billeting and training facilities began in July 1943. The road network between Braunton and Woolacombe was too narrow for anticipated military vehicle movements, so a one-way system was introduced. Houses in Woolacombe were requisitioned for staff training officers, and their headquarters established in the Woolacombe Bay Hotel. Colonel Thompson had been given a free hand to select his staff, and he included many experts in the necessary elements that constituted amphibious assaults. To administer the centre required a station complement of 96 officers and nearly 2,000 men. Almost 10,000 troops were trained at the Assault Training Centre in North Devon during the short 6 months of its existence. All of them were in the first waves ashore in Normandy on D-Day. A third of them were casualties of that fateful day, and very few survived to see the war's end. In March 1944, Paul Thompson, who'd commanded the Assault Training Centre, moved on to take command of the 6th Engineer Special Brigade, who would also become involved with the first waves on Omaha Beach. On the 26th of May 1944, the Assault Training Centre finally closed. The area was handed over to a replacement company that housed soldiers who would replace the casualties on the beaches of Normandy. In 1992, Brigadier General Paul W. Thompson returned to North Devon for the last time to dedicate a memorial to the 10,000 American soldiers who trained at the Assault Training Centre. Each year, thousands of tourists pass this memorial with hardly a glance. I wonder how many of them realise the significance of those stones and the part North Devon played in ensuring the success of D-Day on the beaches of Normandy.